We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
I love the silliness of this channel. How you guys doing? Coming at you another peasant chat. That's right. It is Sunday peasant chat. We're gonna get talking to people that are poor, that can't afford to do the donations. Generally don't have a good understanding about cars, and we're gonna go ahead and hopefully get some good content up there with the poors. I like the show because it's really relaxed. I don't have an agenda, but I do want to talk a little bit about the union stuff that I talked about last show. Apparently I struck a nerve, but not in the way that you would think. I struck a nerve in the fact that a lot of people agreed with my take on unions. And for those of you that aren't fucking Neanderthals and stupid, you understand where I was coming from. I was coming from a productivity standpoint, not whether it's good or not, to the point where a gentleman reached out to me on email and says, hey, your chat kind of opened my eyes. I have a job coming up. He currently makes $30 an hour, and his new job is going to pay him like $50 an hour. I'm like, yeah, take the job. He goes, but it's union. I go, who gives a fuck? It's a step up. Kind of weird. I think people have selective hearing. And if they think Alex said unions are bad, then you should never. Oh my God. I talked about productivity and individualism as opposed to the collective. And I guess people don't listen to that. I guess people just hear whatever they want to hear. But yeah, if you have an opportunity to make more money at a union gig, take the more money. It's not that difficult of a decision to make. As always, we say hi to the people here. But before that, we want to thank the good people over at 2 Auto Solution, Oh My God Cookies, Calimer Transmissions, and The Parts Farm. Everyone is paid up, so they have another month of me putting up logos because they pay for me to put up logos, and you guys pay for emojis. Oh no, the dryer's going off. The peasant dryer is going off. Gotta love it. So we'll say hi to the people here. We'll get after it. What's good? Becho says Fresh Pasteles, 2000 MCR, and Fresh Pastelazos in the house. Homestead Johnny's, Carlos Arroyo, Chris Anderson became a Bicho level member. Thank you again. The donation is off the tab, but you can always become a member, and it's as little as I think $2 or $3 a month. And all it does is just give me a nice monthly nut to be able to do things for you, upgrade equipment, do stuff. Yesterday, I spent most of the day cleaning the GT500. I hate detailing cars. It is tedious, hard work. But the car looked really good, I must admit. It looked really good. Now there's swirls because I haven't polished it. And I did buy a DA, like a chemical guy's situation. Nothing crazy. And I want to practice on the white car first because the white car is less prone to blemishes if I fuck up. So I'm going to practice on the white car hood, get good at that, and then potentially polish up the GT500 because I want it to look as good as possible if someone does decide to buy it. And I'm going to put out a video today. I'm going to edit it today and do a run through, and you can see how shiny it is, but you could also see the swirls. So it just needs a polish, and I'm going to go ahead and practice on the white car and do that on the GT500. Jeffrey, Catalino, JD Swag, Rich 50, Godfather, Jared, TD Carter, Coyote Kelly, Robert Wesley, Fresh Pastelazo became a Bicho level member, Break Bailey, Melissa, cute lady making the cookies. She made all the cookies yesterday. Salim, Clean 93, Jeffrey, Garage Build Coyote, Mike, Alex, Douche Did It, Chrome Taint, Twin Force, Alex Gutierrez, Andrew Slots, EPA, the husband of Melissa, getting it done. Ken McAllister, Jared, Coyote Fury, Keith, Ale Al-Husani, James DeYoung, 5.0 inches? 5.0 inches? Sadio, Roush, Mini Bike, Madman, and all the usual suspects that are in the house. Someone says, I love detailing. You know why I don't like detailing? I have so much to do, and detailing to me, the car looks cleaner, but not so fucking clean that made me go, that was totally worth 2.5 hours. You know what I mean? I haven't even done the interior or the wheels or the engine bay. It was just all the nooks and crannies. And the reason I detailed the GT500 is so that I can see every single little scratch and nick. And of course, this car is a drag car, and I drive it, and it's got nicks and scratches. It's not pristine. And the reason I'm asking what I'm asking is because how much does it cost to build an 8.1 second car, let alone a GT500? And it has like 8,800 miles. That's why I always said 8 or 9,000. And you guys are like, well, it had 9,000, now it has 8,000. It has like 8,800. So that's why I was like, it's either high 8s or low 9s. And I was always, and I already made a video. It's just a matter of me editing it. There's probably 3 hours worth of video. I had my girlfriend with the GoPro, me with a GoPro, and then with the phone. It was ridiculous. I hate detailing too. Yeah, detailing to me is such a waste of time because I'd rather pay somebody $300, $400, $500. And if they're gonna like do paint correction, I'll pay a couple grand if I never have to do it again. I don't care. I love looking at the results of detailing. That's it, right? I want to see the after. I don't the during. And the good thing is, I bought. Okay, so I went to Ammo NYC and I bought their Hoseless Washing Kit. And it's $150. And I wanted to see what it was all about. Honestly, that kit is good if you have a hose. The self-pressurizing sprayer is cumbersome. You constantly have to keep filling it up. It doesn't give you a long window as to spraying. You're spraying and you're pumping. You're pumping more than you're spraying. Let's just say that. Hey, yo. Just like sex, you're pumping way more than you're spraying. So, you know, half of the video is me pumping on the, like I reviewed all the videos on the GoPro and all I'm doing is pumping away on this thing. And I'm like, this is good to soak the car, let it soak, then, you know, do your thing with the microfiber and then rinse it. It's not good to hit it with a panel, undo it with the microfiber, and then hit another panel, undo it with a whole new microfiber. It's nice if you don't have access to a hose, but it's cumbersome, tedious, and it takes a very long time. Alex, does your dryer touch the wall? It does. I know a cycle with Lund Tune 3 valve who pulled his engine for a detail. Stop it. Dude, people like that aren't right. And detailers make good money because they have OCD and they're actually using their weakness against, you know, for good. For you know, super detail oriented, you know, paint corrections and stuff. But like I have so much stuff going on work-wise that I can't sit there for 2 hours and buff a car, bro. Stupid. I need 3 big scratches corrected on my hood, Black GT. Talking to this girl, 14 GT6 R80 car this morning. She told me she wanted to get a tune and wanted an SET. She didn't get my dead rat jokes trying to get her to go to Lund. Just let her go to SET, dude. I love you. Let her go to SET. It's a girl with an auto. Stop it. Need shops that are good in the Chicagoland area for Coyote swaps. So where's Finish Line Performance? And what do you consider Chicagoland area? What is Chicagoland? Like, I don't know if that is that like when I say Palm Beach County, I know what Palm Beach County is. Finishline.com, Finish Line. Oh, this is something else. This is Finish Line Performance in Cincinnati, in Ohio. There we go. They're in, they're nowhere near Chicago. Sorry. They're in fucking Claremont County, Ohio. So that's not Chicago at all. But, you know, when I think north, I think of that. Oh, yeah, they're nowhere near that shit. So I'll shut the fuck up. Yeah, they're nowhere near it. Why did I think that? I have like a real bad time knowing where what is. So I'm like, where the fuck is Chicagoland? Get those likes up. Wait, he pulled his 3-valve motor out and didn't put a Coyote back in it. By the way, 208 viewers, 91 likes. Everyone can go suck my dick. You are all lazy motherfuckers. For those of you that can't simply hit the like button, suck the fat one. What happened to Fluid Turbo Systems? What can their 70mm kit make? Got the Mule kit from... that... Do me a favor, never say that fucking name on this chat again without wanting to squabble. You wanna squabble? Mention that fucking name again. We're gonna have fucking issues because I will go on a 3-hour long rant. In Orlando on vacation, and it's trash here. I told you guys. Orlando is not somewhere you want to go vacation. See, let's say you live in the Northeast, and you know you're sick of seeing mountains, and you know, it's picturesque. So you're like, I want to go vacation somewhere. And you think in June, Orlando is a good place to vacation. You understand that people that live in Orlando, they don't go outside in June. They stay their ass inside in the AC. They go to Publix, to the AC. They come out, they go home, and they have a pool. And they hang out at their pool, and they do their thing. When do people in Florida, specifically Orlando, go outside? Anytime that isn't summer. So a lot of people come down here, and they go, but I want to go to Disney. I want to go to Universal. I want to go. Okay, so then you look at when you can afford the plane ticket. And you can afford the plane ticket during the summer. Why do you think you can afford the ticket in the summer? Because nobody in their right mind would travel to Florida in the summer. You travel here in the winter. That's right. You come here to feel 75-degree, beautiful, brisk, nice weather when it is 30, 20, or 10 degrees where you live. But if it is 85 degrees in the summertime in fucking Ohio, and you said, I want to go to Disney, I want to go to Universal, so you want to sit there. You want to sit there in line to get on a ride, 90 degrees, hot as hell, almost dying. Nobody that in their right mind comes here and vacations in the summer. And Orlando is trash in general. Let's say you come to Orlando to do everything but the parks. What are you going to do? You come down to Orlando to experience Florida? No. Orlando gives you a false sense of what Florida is. It is strip malls. It's Puerto Ricans all over the place. If you dare to go to, where the hell do all the Puerto Ricans live that they all work in the parks? Kissimmee. It's all fucking Puerto Ricans and just, it's Puerto Rico. Do not come to Orlando to experience Florida. You want to come to a town to experience Florida? Naples, Sarasota, Jupiter, Palm Beach County in general. Maybe you want to go to Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Then you will experience Florida. I want to hear this rant. Literally just had someone track yesterday tell me Orlando is a badass vacation spot outside the big race events. Bro, they're psycho as hell. Walking around our neighborhood right now and sweating our asses off. Melissa lives up in the, I want to say, I'm not going to say her specific area, but let's just say east of Orlando, like dead center Orlando, I think. Like near New Smyrna, between New Smyrna and Orlando. And when I worked up there, it was way hotter up there because they're inland more. And the breeze does not move at all. There is no breeze. Here, I'm 15 miles away from the coast. And there's a constant, steady breeze happening. My next two travel spots are Bonita Springs and San Padre later this summer. Correct. If you like fishing, get your ass down here. Get your ass down here during the summer. The fishing is off the fucking chain, supposedly. Talking to Jake, Jake has gotten into fishing heavy. He says, look, you come down here and the snapper, heyo, swordfish, grouper, kingfish, popping. And if you go to the Keys specifically for fishing and you can, rent a house for a week, you'll probably see the most beautiful areas, the best water, sunset and sunrise, and the most badass fishing and restaurants around. But it is an adult vacation spot. It is not somewhere you go to do kid shit. If you have young kids and you want to be distracted by a potential sex offender in a Mickey outfit, go ahead. Go to Disney. Go for it, brother. Disney in the summer looks like a lobster tank. Never again. Florida winter for the win. Didn't know there was beef. My bad. Just can't find much info online. Yeah, don't mention that fucking name in this chat like ever in history. Ever. November till March is the right time. Yes, absolutely. And yeah, you didn't offend me. I just want to let it be known that name in this fucking chat and in my life is a fucking problem. It's a fucking problem. And he and anyone close to him should stay the fuck away. It's going to be a bad time. Howdy. Happy Sunday. Just got off work in time for Peasant Chat. West Texas, 109 yesterday. Fuck my life. Boppy, best tire height, H-I-G-H-T. For roll racing and apostrophe. I like the apostrophe. For roll racing in a 373 bolt-on manual car. Got to worry about Altima not got me too far. Told her my Gen 2 the other day. Want to get back into the game. C6, I got big money. If you got big money, why are you fucking with a C6? If you got big money, get a C7 ZR1 if you're a big daddy. Yeah, it's hot where I live in inland, right? Fishing Florida is where it's at. It's fresh or saltwater. I hear that. I don't know shit about fishing, but everything I know about from what I see, guys buy $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 fishing boats, $1 million fishing boats, and get out there. They stay out there all fucking summer. They come in the winter. Usually the hobby here, it's this: racing during the winter, fishing during the summer. That's how they do it. Swaps are something you should do yourself. It's extremely difficult as a shop. Do one-off nonsense. Shop can't charge enough for customer, thinks they're getting screwed. You're right. Shops that specialize in swaps are hard to come by because, and I'll give you an example. I was dealing with a shop that did a swap, and they are not on the program when it comes to swaps and Lund racing. If you swap a computer into a vehicle, it has to be a control pack from Ford Racing or a power by the hour control pack computer, reflashed. Period. If you have a F-150 computer that you turned PATs off and you have a Gen 1 motor and you say, here's a PATs off F-150 computer. Okay, so what strategy are we going to tune it with? Yeah, that's a good subject matter to bring up. If you go to the junkyard and you want to do the swap the very cheapest way possible, you get the following: the whole wiring harness from a car, an F-150 PATs off computer, Gen 1 Mustang motor, or let's just say Gen 1 F-150 motor. I have to tune it with that strategy. I can't flash a boss. I can't cross flash. Cross flashing means this. Let's say, for instance, 12 Boss 302 is VKU1. 1314 Boss DZW3. I get a computer from an F-150 and whatever code it is, and I try to put a VKW1 strategy in there, it would say, nope, it don't cross flash. Sorry. The ones and zeros don't line up. Nope, this does not happen. But can I cross flash a Mustang computer, Copperhead, to a Boss strategy? Yes. To a Roush strategy? Yes. Can I do that with an F-150 computer? Not without some difficulty. Not without going into the fucking matrix. So a lot of you guys do the cheap swaps. Okay, let's say we do tune it, or it gets tuned, and you put it in there, and the car starts to act funky, and we're like, hey, what computer's in this? And they're like, man, just tune it. I put the stock tuner in it, and it was fine. Right, but we are now using a race-proven strategy to go into your computer that's a PATs off F-150. We say, now you got to get a power by the hour swap computer, or you got to get a Ford Racing control pack. And the Ford Racing control pack has better data in it, or you can put the strategy in there that you need to in order for it to function properly. And the shops do whatever it takes. They don't have a program. They don't have, let's say, okay, all of them are going to have Ford Racing control packs or power by the hour control packs. Period. No, shops go, well, this one has a control pack. The other one has a factory computer. The other one has a Mustang computer. The other one has a... So shops don't have a consistent way of building swap cars so that people like a Lund Racing can give you the best file possible. Now, bitch-ass tuners out there will say, well, if you're a real-ass tuner, you would tune it with the strategy that's in it. Okay, so we're in the business of making money. Ford is in the business of making money. So Ford stamps out F-150s on an assembly line. And you guys are going to go, well, what the fuck? Why don't you copy and paste? Yeah, the copy and paste tunes that run 7s are the best in the industry, idle great, and generally kill everything else in the market that's custom. So unless shops are consistently building the car a certain way that Lund likes, I can't recommend any shop to do swaps with. Hopefully that gives you a bit of a peek. It's kind of long-winded, but that's the best way I could describe it. Good morning, my brother. Got a second gen. What can he do? My brother got a second gen. What can he do to get ready for a supercharger? And do you recommend any shops in the tri-state area? I don't know shit about the tri-state area, but all he needs to do is put a blower on it and he's done. There's nothing to prepare. Put it on. Put a blower kit on, injectors and a BAP and a good tune. That's all you need. There's nothing to prepare. You prepare your bank account and your Affirm account. That's how you get ready for it. It's funny when people move to Florida and get obsessed with their lawn. Yeah, no, I don't get that either. Like, I'm super fucking, like, I don't get it at all. I thought Texas summers were bad. Y'all got it way worse in Florida for sure. And yeah, no, not at all, Alex Gutierrez. You were dead wrong. Florida summers are bad in Central Florida, but the coast is fine. Texas is trash everywhere during the summer. We prefer November to March as well, Cocoa Beach area. I'd fish off of a Midnight Express guy I know with a Jeep Hellcat, swapped it and then didn't like it, so he had a demon swap. Thing had to be probably 5 different shots because he didn't like them. He was like $120,000 deep into a 10.711 Jeep. Sup, homie, got me work catching, whatever. Copy paste tunes kill motors, right? Can't find info on this topic. Gear ratio, tire height, high speeds. Why does he keep going on with that shit? I see a lot of Jeep guys starting to integrate the 6R80 with a diesel using a quick 6. Have at it, brother. I try to refer them to PBH and get more info on the quick 6 before they waste their time and money. Lund tuned my Ford Racing Control Pack and since day one and no problems. They don't have heck. Senator? Good morning, Alex. It's Steven Gardner. Okay, we're caught up on the comments. I had a shop do my first Coyote swap, says potential sarcasm. They ended up misplacing my computer that came with the Gen 2 crate motor. They wired a Gen 1 computer they had laying around, then wondered what the issue was. Where the fuck has he been? Has who been? Are boundary gears a must for boosted 700 horsepower? Nope. My Gen 3 Mustang has bone stock oil pump gears. Jake's truck makes 1,000 wheel on 20 PSI stock oil pump gears. Alex, who do you recommend building an 850 cage and an S550 Mustang? Getting to the point where RPG short block makes it. I'm going to want to put something in it to make it safer. Isn't Fat House Fab? Let me give them a shout. Fat House Fab. Aren't they selling kits? Let's go to the browser. Let me see. Display capture. There we go. Well, I guess their website's down. Jesus Christ, what's going on, brother? Come on, baby. Okay, well, whenever that decides to fucking load, I'll let you know. But for now, that bitch ain't loading for shit. So we'll see what the deal is with that. They don't realize that copy paste comes after long vetting and money, right? I think a lot of people think that we get one tune to start, and they go, okay, use that tune to start all the time. No, we get one tune to run 850, 840. From pump gas to the E85 tune, the only changes are maybe math tweaks and spark. One file, I can give you one file that theoretically you put on your car. It'll run 1050s on 10 PSI on a Gen 3. And then when you do a fuel system, E85 and more boost, all I have to do is the fuel system revision, more spark, and maybe touch up the math up top. And it'll run way into the 8s. Literally the same tune, just with 3 or 4 tweaks. People out there think that you have to like start from scratch with a base for the stock strategy, dial in all the torque tables, all the spark tables, all the MBT tables, everything. And I'm like, no. Lund doesn't tune the red key on the Boss 302, right? Correct. We do not do that shit. Pros and cons of doing a torque converter swap on a Whipple Gen 3 car is not a daily. Do you know what a converter does? Tonep 79. Do you know what a converter does? And I'm not trying to be a fucking asshole. I'm asking you a simple question because some people are not even aware of the function of a aftermarket high stall torque converter. Southern Motoring Solutions. Alice, do you recommend the Ford control pack going straight into something like the Motec when chasing very high power levels of a swapped Fox? Define very high power levels. Define very high power levels. The Gray Goose makes 1,500 on a Ford Racing control pack. The Blue Goose makes 1,500 on a Ford Racing control pack. My GT500 runs 8.1 on a stock GT500 computer. Define very high horsepower. I have a 14 GT, says Chris Powell, with inch and 3/4 long tubes. You rarely see those. Oh, no. Yeah, no, that's kind of small. Free-flowing exhaust, auto with 313 gear. What a weird number. 313 gears. Did you mean 331s? If I went with an 18 manifold, should I go ahead and grab LU47s before a retune? You don't need LU47s unless you're going to go with E85 on that particular combo. If you're going to stay on pump gas for the foreseeable future, you don't need to upgrade the injectors. Yes, we have weld-in kit, says John Lucas. Oh, so John Lucas is a Fat House. Let me see. Catch can kits, roll cage and safety. Look at that. Okay, so I'm going to go to their roll cage and safety. S550 Mustang, roll cage and safety. Okay, I'm going to give them a plug because they're good people. They've been really good with me. Again, I'm not trying to get anything from them, but they've been great people to deal with. Once that site starts to load. Watson Racing makes cage for S550. Yeah, but it's Watson. Stock 6R80 power limit. Stock 6R80, it's not a power limit. It's more of a torque limit. You know what, modified by Nick. So if your car weighs 2,800 pounds, makes 600 wheel, that bitch will last a long time going way into the nines. The Fairmont was a 980, 970 car at 700 wheel with a 4R200, and that bitch wasn't even sneezing. And I think a Donnie with a stock trans was going well into the nines, but the car was 3,800 pounds with him in it or so. So it's one of those things where you kind of have to figure out what the deal is. Okay, so here we go. Fat House has, let me see. They have this kit right here. That's like a $2,000 kit. And it's a weld-in roll cage 850 spec. This is good. This is really good. Let's stay here for a little bit. They also have a parachute mount for an S550 and S550 4-point bolt-in roll bar. They're in Martinsville, Indiana, just in case you wanted to know. Let me bring this. Oh, Jesus Christ. I get confused as to which one is which. So once the site decides to load and they pay for a good server space, Jesus Christ. Fat House, you need to upgrade your server. So here we go. They can spec out a kit. So there you go. If you want to buy something, door bar swing outs, window net, gussets, back brace, parachute. I mean, guys, legit stuff. You know what I mean? So Fat House, they make great shit. Their stuff's not junk. Really pretty. So if you guys want a kit per se, because you guys love kits, look into Fat House Fab stuff. People say Watson, that's fine, but I'd rather support, quote unquote, the little guy because, I don't know, I like them and I want them to succeed and I want them to kill it. And again, I ain't getting shit from them, so I don't think I'm, getting shit from them. I heard Turvey is making cages. Hey there, fellas. Coyote Kelly, that sounds like a Corvette owner right there. Somewhat I do. I'm definitely not an expert on them by any means. Trying to pick up a couple of 10s at the track. I feel it's the next step. So he's talking about a converter. Yes. The converter will allow your car to launch at a higher RPM and generally have kind of slip. Let's say right now you have a bone stock torque converter and you can only basically bring it up on the converter up to about 2,000 RPMs before the tire starts to spin or starts to lurch forward. Well, on an aftermarket torque converter, depending on the spec, you can bring it up to 3,200, 3,300, 3,400, maybe more. If on a two-stepper trans brake, you might be able to get away to bring it up to almost 4,000 RPMs. And that alone will obviously, because you're launching at a higher RPM, will cause you to launch harder, have a better 60-foot time. But when you're driving it around, you're going to have the car stay at a higher RPM generally. Before you can go, whoa, and the lockup clutch will drag it down. With an aftermarket torque converter, it'll be like, whoa, it'll kind of stay up there until the torque converter goes, whoa, and the lockup clutch brings it way down. And you're going to go, hey, it's shifting early. No, it's shifting fine. It's just the difference between the slip from a aftermarket converter and a stock converter is more. So the lockup seems exaggerated because of the inherent slip of the aftermarket converter. Recommendation for a non-sleeve built short block? Who to order from? Non-sleeve built short block. Any of the guys that actually sell sleeve short blocks. The difference would be the sleeving. So FFRE, TKM, Keith Ray, any of the guys. L&M. Yes, thank you. 331 gear, but hopefully we'll go E85 soon. Hellcats and Trackhawks. Really thinking about posting my 3-valve motor for sale and Coyote swapping. Found an engine local and looking at PBH swap harness. Are the harness built to order? Dude, if you're trying to make all your shit work with a Coyote motor in it, I would ditch that idea ASAP. I would just get a Gen 2 control pack and a Gen 2 motor and figure out how to make the gauges work after the fact. If you want to try to wire everything in so that everything works as stock except it's got a Coyote in it, you must love wiring. Should I run a 170 thermostat in my 07 GT500? Sure. 170 thermostat opens at 170, and I am blown away that people to this day do not know what a thermostat does. So let's say the fans are not designed to come on until 195. And that means the thermostat generally comes on around, opens and allows fluid to, coolant to go into the engine at, let's say, 190. So let's say 190, thermostat opens, coolant goes into the motor, fans kick on. Okay. So let's say you have a 170 thermostat in there. Opens at 170, coolant goes in there, fans aren't touched. Fans don't come on until 195. Is that a problem if you're moving? Because the fans are only doing most of the work in cooling the car when the car is stationary. Stationary, not even moving. But when you're moving, air is hitting the grill. The fan settings mean shit. Now, Gen 3s, Gen 3s are so sensitive. Like the decel is sensitive, the coasting fuel shutoff is sensitive, the spark is sensitive, everything is sensitive. So when you install a 170 thermostat in there, it might go, hey, something's fucked up because the coolant is coming in at a rate that the fan, and then it might throw like a fan or coolant code, and yes, Gen 3s need it. But generally, mechanically, nothing needs to happen to the tune or car or fan settings. If you just install a 170 thermostat, it'll just run cooler. But some people have it in their head that you cannot even put the thermostat in until you have a tune that turns the fans on sooner. If you are driving, that is your fan. The world is your fan. Alex, how can I get my Gen 3 10-speed into the low 8s? Seconds, 60 to 130. Okay, this is something else that's happening, guys, that you guys need to be made aware of. If you were to tell me, Alex, how do I get my car into the 8s? I think quarter mile. I don't think draggy. But the young guys now are saying 8s, 7s, 6s, and they're referring to the draggy. They're not even saying my draggy into the 6s. They're saying, Alex, how can I get my car into the 7s? I go, Jesus, 1,400 horsepower. And they go, what? I go, yeah, 1,400 horsepower, badass parachute. I mean, it's ID 2000s. And they're like, no. I see NA cars go 7s. I go, what NA car goes 7s? Alex, 760 to 130. I go, oh, you fucking millennial Gen Z fucking retard. Yeah, get ready. The days of referencing 7s, 6s, and anything in terms of quarter mile are over. We are now referencing 60 to 130 as 8s, 7s, 6s. Cracks me out when people think they need more fan when it runs hot on the highway. I agreed with your take on unions. Thank you. Sold my 800 horsepower CTSV, had a roll cage in it, and killed the deal for a lot of people. So happy to see it finally sold and 7 states away. My car is only going to be sold to someone that understands what that car is. And it will be a drag car. If you're going to come at me saying, I would buy it, but the roll cage, but the converter, then don't even message me. Fuck off. I can keep that car forever. And I'll still get a ZR1. Fuck it. Because I'm stupid like that. I'm dumb. Now, I was going to do it kind of like the Grey Goose. AM Dash, something like that. Would spend the money for all the new stuff. T56 4 fuel system should still work. Yes, sir. Absolutely. You got it. It sounds like you're building a badass ride. A lot of people think TS determined the max temp thermostat, right? The internet mechanics say lower thermostat causes problems. That confuses people. You know what's going to fuck them up, Evan Smith? Is if you actually remove the thermostat and the car runs cooler. It really fucks with them. Wait a minute, what? Yeah, I put a restrictor in there and it runs cooler without a thermostat. What? What do you mean it runs cooler without a thermostat? I thought that you need a thermostat for it to run cooler. I guarantee if you showed someone how a thermostat works, especially these new guys that are referencing draggy times as 7s and 6s and 8s, they'd be like, wait, that's how it works? Hell, if you showed them how a 4-stroke engine works, they'd be blown. Wait, it doesn't explode every time the piston goes up? No. It sucks in air, compresses it, then pa-boom. They go, wait a minute. Whoa, wait a minute. You're telling me every time the piston comes up, the spark doesn't go and boop. No. Back when they struck 2019 for more money, but their higher-ups were chilling on yachts. Got MagnaFlow Street Series with Corsa Double H pipes and ARH long tubes. One of the best sounding combos, I think. Draggy is the new strip. Putting a Gen 2 with a 6 rating and 64 truck. Should I still go with the Ford Control Pack or Terminator X? What are your goals with the big block 402? Are you looking to keep VCT? One of the biggest issues with people in Coyote swapping is understanding VCT. And I don't know of any Holley product that properly controls VCT yet. Maybe they do. I don't know. I'm not privy to any Holley products. All I know is that motherfuckers are changing coils out all the fucking time with Holley products. I'm like, why do coils keep failing on... Anyway, so a lot of people with a truck, right? They go, okay, I got a 64 truck, right? I got a Gen 2 Mustang motor, right? I got to decide control pack or Holley. Number one, do you want to tune it yourself? Holley. Number two, does Holley have proper cam control? VCT, like factory. If the answer is yes, Holley. If the answer is fuck no, next question is, it's like a tree. Are you willing to lock the cams in a favorable watt position, but drivability will suffer greatly? No, I want a smooth idle Ford Racing control pack. I don't care how it chops. I just want to control it with Holley. But if you want smooth VCT operation, stock like driving mannerisms. I repeat, stock like driving mannerisms. Ford Racing control pack or power by the hour control pack. Plain simple. I'm trying to get into the 8s. 2, is it acceptable to measure behind the ball? Never mind. 2017 with Paxton would get 750 to the wheels. What pulley supporting mod? 17 Paxton, 3.6 pulley, BAP, and injectors. That's it. 3.6 pulley, BAP, and injectors, and take the head unit, have it be open to atmosphere, not being sucked through a snorkel or some kind of stock CAI. And if it's a manual, it should get high 6s or low 700s with good fuel. 60 to 130, messing it all up. I was wondering what this guy was talking about the other day. Now I know he was talking about draggy times. You can't get 130 in the quarter mile, so you go 60 to 130. I had an NA car that went 7s once. Alex, how can I get my cat to go 7s in reverse? Draggy Bonics. Little Carter on the mic in the house with the Hellcats and Trackhawks. How you doing? Nice to see you here. Draggy Bonics is the language of people that draggy. Very good. I like it. Little Carter on the mic. If we were giving away cookies today, I'd give them to you. I think you already got cookies. Man, get out of here. But I don't think we're giving cookies away. 60 to 30 means less 60 foot. Y'all would rather roll faster, learn how to, whatever. Go hit the like button, guys. 100 of you guys in the couches are touching the wall. I need 2 strokes, 2 times the power. Holley knock sensors are junk also. Ford Racing control pack it is then. Alex, is there anything to adjust on E1593 full bolt on Gen 2 pumpcast tune? LTFT reads 30% at idle. It sounds like to me you have a massive vacuum leak. If your long-term fuel trims are trying to put in 30% fuel, and the difference between 15% ethanol and no ethanol is 14.0 stoic versus 14.7 stoic, you are operating at like a 9.8 stoic, meaning it's lean as shit. So that means you have a vacuum leak. I would absolutely look at your cold air data, your injector data, and do a smoke check. You watched the UFC last night? Nope. Not tuning it myself. Single turbo, drive like stock. I'll go Ford Racing control pack. So I think there should be a tree, and you need to understand when you have your parts, guys, and you are outlining a Coyote build. Get off of the forums. They don't know shit. Get off of Mustang 6G. Get off of. Listen to me. What do you want to do with the car? Let's just get to the fucking nitty gritty. What do you want to do with the car? I want to go drag racing. I'm going to have TKM built me a locked cam motor, Plasma Man, sleeved 5.2, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, turbo 400. Okay, but you know what? Holly might be your choice. Holly sounds like it's your choice. I want to chippity chop, lock the cams, high compression, E85 only. I don't care about drivability, and I want a big mechanical throttle body because I like the mechanical feel. Holly's your choice. I want a TVS or Whipple or turbo or twin turbo setup. It's gonna live on pump gas, maybe E85 down the road. I want it to drive as smooth as possible, idle as smooth as possible. I want VCT to work, and I want to get decent mileage at it. Ford Racing Control Pack. That is so straightforward, because every single person that gets let's say a Whipple swap Bronco, the first thing they go is, this thing starts and idles like a stock car. Chicka, 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 whoom, blah, 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 blah. And then they get on it and it sees 10, 11, 12 PSI and they're like, holy shit, what an awesome ride. You get a Holly, you go, hey man, go crack the throttle real quick. Go crack the throttle real quick. Chicka, 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 clear it out, man. Clear it out. Holly for the win. Listen to Cletus's car. Shit. Well, it's an alternative to T5 second gear on its way out. They have an Astro 5-speed. I think Tremec makes the 5-speed again. Tremec made another version of the T5, so they have the copycats out there. Alex, what shops have Coyote Swap program you recommend? Power by the hour. And the smart thing about Power by the hour is they use the strategy we like. For automatic, there's a certain strategy we like that has all the sauce in it, all the good stuff, all the parameters available to us. And we can say, here you go. This computer has gone 7s. So there is no limitation. We have a 10,000 RPM patch, not having to do with anything with HP tuners, nothing having to do with HP tuners. This is something that Ford Racing put into their shit, and we were able to move some stuff around. And the Power by the Hour control pack can be used on your daily driven Coyote swapped anything, or your insanely stupid high horsepower 6R80 or 4R200 swapped Coyote Mustang. If it's not a dedicated race car, why touch the thermostat? Well, Garage Build Coyote, so there is something to be said about lower cylinder head temps. Lower cylinder head temps definitely help with performance. Is it measurable? Nah, but on a stock car, you can see cylinder head temps to about 208, 210. Once you put a thermostat, those come down to 180, 195 tops. So it's just going to run better if it runs cooler. It's just how it is. I want 10,000 rev limit, son. You hit the nail on the head. You're not lying about the Holly cold start. Told you no. This is exactly why my friend Holly does in his LS Volvo. Would you go CJ Ported Manny or Gen 3 8th for dig races looking to have the best 8th setup? I would go an 18 manifold. That's a good question, Incognito Films. I would do an 18 manifold Gen 3 because it'll have more torque than the CJ. Nardi Mercado says, what up, Alex? And Edgar Sanchez says, checking in late. Bitcho, going to like and watch the beginning later. Saludos, bitcho. Young guys, pay attention. Church is in session. Plasma Man intake is too expensive. I know a guy that it's good with spray foam and fiberglass. Orlando didn't seem nice. Came back from Lakeland and it seemed nice. Lakeland is nice. So the cold, so the great thing is you, and again, nothing against Holly. But every single time I hear a Holly-tuned vehicle start, I think the same thing every time. I go, does the tuner not prioritize startup? Does the tuner not care about cold start, idle quality? Do they just say, fueling's fine, leave it alone? Let the learn tables do their thing. Or do they just say, it's a race car, we're going to clear it out, manipulate the throttle, get it to start, get it to idle, and then after it's idling, it's settled, it's not going to stall. After a burnout, it'll catch it. But every single time I hear a Collie-equipped vehicle start, I wonder if it's the operating system or if it's the tuner that just does not prioritize anything having to do with idle. It just felt more humid there. It's already 105 here in Texas, so the heat is normal to me. I sucked the bird through the turbo, clear it out. I put a 170 in my Paxton car just for the thought of mind. The thought of mind. Did he mean peace of mind? Or the thought of mind? I was thinking with my brain, and I said, let me put a 170 thermostat in my Coyote equipped car for thought of mind. Yeah, just for thought of mind, just retorque the wheels just for thought of mind, okay? Gotta love people. I love people. I love you. I love all of you. That's why my cleaner likes Holly. Did you hear them bald eagles at idle? Hell yeah, brother. Get some heat in the motor. I heard that. He's like, hey, we're going to relash the valves and we're going to put some heat in the motor. And I'm like, please tell me he's kidding. Some companies do it better. Ford Racing Control Pack or PBH harness is where it's at. Alex, I want to go boost it. I'm having a hard time picking a Whipple 3.0 or a Vortec V3 car. We'll be on the 85 track time attack car, which occasional street smooth driving, which will give me better control on torque. Aha! Gentlemen, take note of this Mr. Art, of how specific he was in his power delivery, use of vehicle, and a proper way of wording a question. I want to go boosted, and I'm having a hard time picking a Whipple 3.0 or a Vortec V3. Call behind the 85. Time attack car. Occasional street smooth driving. Street smooth driving. Which will give me better control of torque. The Vortec. The reason I say that is not because I'm hating on Whipple. You said control. Now, the Whipple has a bypass, and so does the Vortec, but the Whipple or any TVS or twin rotor or twin screw style blower has a bit of a lunge when the bypass shuts. It's just inherent. Dodge got rid of this by basically making a programmable bypass that looks like a little throttle body. And you can actually dial in the bypass shutting so that the effect is lessened. On a Vortec, because it's a centrifugal, power delivery is pretty damn linear. The only issue you're going to have with a Vortec is you're going to have to live in the slightly higher RPMs, 5,000, 6,000 and up, to really be in your power range, really get after it and feel, the proper boost. With a Vortec, you'll have more torque down low. But for time attack stuff, it sounds like to me you're mostly going to stay in the high RPMs. Am I not right? If time attack stuff is like road racing stuff, but like really aggressive, crazy shit, I want to live in the high RPMs all the time. Now, Whipple does a good job of making good power at high RPMs, but we're not like a centrifugal. And I hope you guys saw the video of me racing Jake's truck, and it made you guys believers. A lot of you guys probably doubted that the Vortex can hang with anything, and it hung in there boost for boost versus a big 80 millimeter, not big, but 80 millimeter, 1,000 horsepower capable, but he was at 11 PSI, 770 wheels, so it's not a slouch. And you said smoothest driving. Nothing drives smoother than a stock throttle body. Again, nothing against the 132 or the 150. I want a stock throttle body all the time if the goal is smooth, linear, predictable throttle, and torque control. That's a very great way of wording the question, sir. It's hard to get traction with the Whipple unless you ramp the timing like a boost controller. That was my complaint about my 19 Whipple car, right? That'd be cool to have that for Mustangs too. I think it's called Smooth Boost Bypass for the Mopar guys, right? Do you tune 6R80 car with the Coyote ECU, etc.? 6R80, 446, 4. Yeah, it has to be a Coyote ECU, period. How do you control it with anything else? 60 series John. Don't forget how Cleater must mention he's got oil pressure every 30 seconds. I have a complete Gen 2 swap for my wrecked Mustang, wire harness, and ECM. When I start my swap and get a P-based control pack, should I just toss the ECM? Daniel Green, I talked to Power by the Hour about that. I think we could put a control pack tune in that one and cross-flesh it. ESS is local to me and wants to put my car on their house dyno, ESX G3X and 4 triple pump 85 10R80 car. Should I even really care what the number ends up being? Dustin Conley, people like Valley 10 Speed and all those guys, they run 4s, 60 to 130. That's why I make sure I say 60 to 130. And those cars, when you look at what they make for horsepower, you would think it's 1,000 horse to the wheel. But the 10R80 is so efficient if it's shifting properly, it keeps everything in the proper torque, that you can make 800-900 wheel and run in the fours. You know what I mean? Like Jake's truck's a 10R80 at 770 horsepower setting. It was right next to my car, and it weighs 1,000 pounds more than 1,000 pounds more. And he was on four-wheel drive. He had a 20, 21, and 22-inch wheels. He had a lot going against him. And he stayed right next to a Vortec 12 PSI car on a Sunoco 260 GT. So there's something to be said about the 10R80 and how you don't necessarily need it to see a lot of horsepower to run a good number. Now, don't expect 1,000 and up. But you know that if you have a 10R80 or 6R or 10R80 making high 800s, that bitch is a low 5-second 60 to 130 car, 100%. It'll beat a lot of cars out there. I hear smaller wheels is faster. How come people don't run 15-inch on a Gen 3? Because you have a 315 tire. Do you know that you can actually change the diameter of the tire by changing the tire size, and the wheel diameter doesn't matter? So a 305 45 17 is 28 inches in diameter. A 275 60 15 is 28 inches in diameter. So I don't want to get... Let me get out. Okay. The watt tune is good, just idles like shit, and I don't drive like stock. Ha. I just want a good idle, good watt tune. I forgot his initial question. Sorry. Alex, what are some kind of things you do for thought of mind? Fishing. Fishing just kind of gives me thought of mind. The brakes won't allow it. Met a guy yesterday who went monoblade on his Cobra. He hates it on the street, but it works great at the track. Said he's swapping back. Whoa, ain't that some shit? What octane is 260 GT relevant to? 100. Just 100. Just 100. Nothing crazy. The car lives at 5,500 to 7,500 RPMs. Time attack is 20 to 30 minutes of hammering on the car. Also worried about heat, which I believe the Vortec will be better at. Thank you for your advice, Vortec. It is. Good job, Art. Way to make the question very specific. Understand what your power range is going to be, and your power adder is going to be better. You're going to have better power delivery with the Vortec for sure, over a Vortec, over a Whipple. Doesn't the Holly switch to cable-driven throttle body instead of fly-by-wire? Wouldn't that be easier to tune for idle? Am I wrong? You're wrong. Listen to any Coyote. Listen to any Holly-equipped stock throttle, cable throttle body car. It's IAC, right? It's IAC, idle air control valve. Unless there's an IAC function in the tuning, minimum throttle angle. So you would think that it's easier to tune idle on a Holly cable throttle situation, but why doesn't it? Why does every single Holly car have to be cleared out so that it could settle into a good idle? It's weird to me. They are legit car builds, by the way, not bolt on an FFE. Don't know what he's talking about. Alex, how do you feel about Gen 3 block with pistons, rods for a Whipple car? Should I have the sleeves installed as well? My Gen 2 block packed its bags, unfortunately. The Gen 3, in terms of strength, I think is the same as Gen 2. Now, we're just talking block. We're not talking pistons. We're not talking any of that stuff. We're simply talking block. Unsleeved. I think a Gen 1 block is best. Unsleeved because it has deeper threads and bigger head studs. Gen 1. But let's say you can't find a Gen 1. You put a Gen 3 in that bit and 12-to-1 compression, non-sleeved. I think you're going to be limited to the same overall power than Gen 2 if you don't sleeve it. Then we got to talk about O-ringing and all that stuff. It just gets into the weeds. The way I look at it is this. An illuminator is that. An illuminator from Ford Racing is that built short block, rods and pistons, and they're rated to 1,000 horsepower. So if you're going to live in the 8 to 900, I think you're fine. If you're going to live in the 12 to 1300, sleeving is your huckleberry, and maybe O-ringing, because that's a lot of, you're doing a lot with a little tiny Coyote. I know the Coyote looks massive, and a lot of people say, look at how big that motor is. It's just the cylinder heads that are really big. If you take the block of a Coyote, put it next to the block of a LS3, 5.3, or anything, it's tiny. The block, it's just a little guy. So what makes it big is the cylinder heads, because it's dual overhead cam design. So you're really asking a lot of this little 5-liter motor. You're asking it to do a lot of work. So, that's why you see these 1,500 horsepower Coyotes not necessarily make it a whole season. And the ones that do are built extremely well. But typically, they got to get refreshed often if you're making big boy power. If you watched the Midwest Drags, whatever the thing Cletus did the other day, there was a blue S197 that was so impressive to me. When you start thinking about what that car has done, a TKM built motor, probably under 330 cubic inches, twin turbo. The guy drove it to every event and ran a 750 at every single event. Aside from Cleet's car, we know that thing's a bad bitch now with the Steve Morris motor. That car blew my mind. And there was also a Grand National looking thing that I think had a 5.3. So what's more impressive to me? To me, Alex, a 500 plus cubic inch, big block, getting it done on meth. Very impressive. 7 O's and 6's. Great. A 315, 30 or 20 cubic inch Coyote at 3,500 pounds going 750. You can make the case that one was more impressive. Stop Block Life. Rolling resistance is more compound width than tire. Art is too smart for this. Yeah, Art is way too smart for this chat. Art is like on it. I'm like, oh, I wish there was more of you. But then if there were more of him, this show wouldn't be what it was. Pretty sure a tire is heavier per diameter if you have a lightweight wheel. More height equals more roll resistance. That light to viewer ratio is nice. It is nice. Very nice. 240 to 301. I like that very much. Thanks, Alex. Just picked up an aluminum drive shaft from DSS. Conflicting info whether I should run a loop or not. What's your opinion? Always run a loop if you can. You got to understand, guys, when it comes to drive shafts, do you think, and someone says Holly has a drive-by-wire option. I'd love to see that. If you run an aftermarket drive shaft and you're worried about it potentially snapping, think of what it can do if it isn't held to a certain constriction, like constricted to a small area. If your drive shaft explodes and it goes, woo, and it whips and hits your fuel tank, your fucking trans is being fucking jacked from the back, heyo, and it just takes out everything. Now, if you have a drive shaft safety loop, it might just fall within that loop and rattle around and scuff things around it. That's fine. But you're saving the rest of the car from, and potentially you. Imagine getting a drive shaft up your ass. So I would always opt for a drive shaft safety loop. That blue S197 was rolling out. It was a nice car. Nice car. No displacement for displacement for replacement. No replacement for displacement. Thanks for the info. Alex, I started a YouTube channel to document a few builds we're doing our racing. Was wondering if you would allow me to share the link with the group. Looking to get feedback so I can improve the content. Jeff Johnson, do it up, brother. Put it up there. Put the link up. Anyone that has a YouTube channel that wants to shout it out, do it up on this chat. I'm not one of those weirdos. Do it up, brother. What is a good fuel pump from keeping it returnless for 18 and up? I'm going to be honest with you. I am absolutely down on the D-Tworks 400. And I don't care if they get mad at me or not. The D-Tworks 400, I don't see it being great. I see it being a slight upgrade, but not anything above and beyond a stock pump with a BAP. You know what? The install is sus. If you look at the install on a D-Tworks 400, you go, that's sus with that rubber line and the transfer tube and da-da-da-da-da. I have a bone stock fuel pump in my car with a booster pump from Vortec, and the thing makes 700 wheel and it has plenty of fuel. Now, if I'm going to stay on pump gas or a dense fuel, I don't need another pump. If that pump craps out, I'm going to put another stock pump in it. My fuel pressure drop is perfect, meaning it doesn't see anything under 58 PSI at 12 PSI of boost. So I can't recommend any aftermarket pumps that are worth a damn anymore because I haven't seen something in the aftermarket that absolutely proves that it's a better situation. Drop in, stock hat, stock lines. I just haven't seen it. 305 45 17 on my NA 10 speed with 355 gear. Stock tire size is right around 28 inch, so that's a perfect size. We need Art and B Turvy to debate which is better, Ported 18 Manny, CJ, or B Turvy Manny. Also depends on your gear ratio. Alex, do centrifugals perform well on F-150s? So Zach T, I've seen a couple of ProCharge F-150s, and I never said ProCharge doesn't make power. It just comes at the risk of your crank snout. Comes right off the bitch. But they make power. So a truck being so big and heavy, you're almost going to want to opt for torque. And in my opinion, the 2.6 TVS, like an Odin blower kit, would be perfect because it's a 2650, it fits, and the TVS simply makes more torque at a lower RPM than a Whipple does. But the centrifugal, if pulleyed properly, can really make some steam up top. I would love to have a Vortex Supercharger in my truck. The problem is they don't have any. And I don't want to stick anything ProCharger in any of my vehicle ever in history. So I think it'll do well. But until one is like, look, my truck 60 foot's 1.9 NA. And it runs 12.2. So all I needed to 60 foot is like a 1.6 on pump gas and make 10 PSI. So if I work, let's say I get a converter and 10 PSI and get it to do it'll be a 10-second and it'll be a 10-second pump gas boosted truck. That's what I would love. And then Sunoco 260 GT, blah, 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 blah. Put that bitch in there. Turn up the timing, turn up the boost. It'll probably run a 1050 or 1040 with, let's say, 12 pounds or 13 pounds of boost. So, and then I have a fuel system for the truck. Yes. By the way, I did the Carvana thing for the truck, and what they offered me was laughable. So if I do sell the truck, it'll be a private party sale. Alex, I'm new to the streams, and I rewatched a bunch of your old streams and learned a lot. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. At least you learned something. Not much, but something. My buddy has a 6.2 Harley Davidson F-150 Hennessy with a ProCharger. It's fun, but I think it has room for improvement. So adding a converter would be extremely beneficial for a Century swap. Absolutely. Alex, how? Absolutely. In my opinion, if you have a stock stalled auto car, whether it be 6R80, 10R80, or 10R80 truck, getting the RPMs up to where the centrifugal makes more power is highly beneficial. So yeah, absolutely. I know boost is just a measurement of restriction, but just wondering, what do I expect if I pull it to death? I don't know what you're saying. Drive shaft loops are required with slicks and are meant to keep the car from pogoing when the drive shaft blows apart. Drive shaft safety loop for thought of mine. That's very good. Predator blocks handle good power. They do. Unsleeved. There is no better block, unsleeved, than the Predator block. Once you try to sleeve it, you really got to know what you're doing, because there's a couple of weep holes where shit can happen. It's not a straightforward sleeve job on a 5.2, based on what we know. There's some things that have to be done on the special side, but if you do not want to sleeve it, Predator block is King Daddy for sure. Hey, Alex, do you do no lift shift tune? No, I ask you to learn how to drive first, because you should be lifting between the shifts. Listen to my car shift. That is me lifting between the shifts. I think you should practice better driving habits and lift between the shifts to unload the transmission and drivetrain and get it into the next gear properly. Instead of you guys going out there and smashing it to the floor and just yanking back on the stick. That's not how it does. That's not the best way to do it. Torque, you say? Looks like an F-150 needs a torque storm to storm the truck with torque. Twin Dietrich 300s on an 07 GT500. Significant upgrade? No. VMP told me the stock hat. In the stock hat, I won't see hardly any improvement. You won't see much of an improvement. He's right. 100% right. Because look, what are you doing? Look, The 13, 14 GT500 with twin boosted pumps, you can run E85 with it. It has really good fuel pumps. That is basically a budget return fuel system for another company. Return. I think that's where the issue comes into play. Once you start returning the fuel with that setup on a Coyote and you have the higher RPM Coyotes are capable of turning, that fuel system sucks. On a GT500, you're done at 6,800 RPMs. If you just want to rev it to 7,000, that's real awesome. Cool. But once you start really upping the boost on a GT500, and the GT500 has a fuel rail pressure sensor, so it can compensate pulse width based on fuel pressure. So people are sometimes confused. They go, well, GT500s can run E85. Why can't a Coyote run E85 with GT500 fuel system? No fuel rail pressure sensor, and you're returning it back to the tank. You're welcome. And maybe Art would get that. Everyone else would be like, I don't get what you said. 11 to 14 OEM cats, would it be a problem? 10 psi of blower boost. What? Roush. Chard Davis. What does Roush do? So Roush gives you a 630 or 650 rear wheel horsepower. Stage 3 Roush car with cats. But what would happen if you were to put a tailpipe sniffer or an aftermarket wideband on a Roush vehicle? And what do you think AFR would be with stock cats making 700 plus wheel or 600 plus wheel? They run it so rich at wide open throttle to cool the cats. Again, Roush cars are limited to 6,900 RPMs because they're LU47 injectors. They run watt lambda in the low 0.7s. That's like 10 to 7 air fuel ratio to cool the cats. The moment you start revving it past that with an aftermarket tune, 7,500 RPM, you can't run LU47s anymore. So now you need a D-Works 1000, FIC 1000, ID 1050X, ID 1300. And then we have to do the same thing to keep the cats alive. Actually, we can't turn off cat protection anymore because of EPA. So the EPA says you can't manipulate cat protection at all. Okay, so we are dumping a shitload of fuel at wide open throttle to keep the cats cool. Honestly, the way Roush does it would be the only way it can be done and still be able to offer a warranty like they do. Stay under a certain RPM, stay rich on the wide open throttle stuff so that the cats stay cool, but that you're going to miss out on a lot of power to keep the cats alive. It's one of those things you can't even talk about anymore. Because once I get into it, people start to question everything. They go, wait a minute, so what if I better get a bigger injector, but you run it at less of a rich lambda? Well, then the cats potentially might melt at wide open throttle over 7,000 RPMs at 10 PSI boost. And then people are confused about that. We need a thunder sound effect when you say torque storm. Are we doing it live? YouTube. Let me see. So we're gonna do torque storm. So thunder sound, like loud thunder. Let me see. 10 hours of thunder. I need like really aggressive thunder, like stupid heavy thunderstorm sounds. Nah, it's taking too long. I need it to be like so dumb, like there it is. Oh, we found it. We found it. Copy. Yeah. Imagine we go, hey Alex, what's the best supercharger? Torque storm. You Oh boy, I love that shit. I'm gonna leave it up on the chat. Torque storm. Oh, thunder sound perhaps followed by a hawk shriek. What's the best supercharger out there for Coyote Mustangs? We got torque storm in-house. Wow. That's perfect. Oh, shit. Thundercats, right. And it will smell like rotten eggs, right? It smells like rotten eggs, and you're like, and then the guy goes, well, the Roush tune didn't do this, Alex. The Roush tune was fine. Okay, now we're revving it 700 more RPMs. We have bigger injectors. What do you want? Go back to the Roush tune and stay at 600 wheel, shifting at 6,700 RPMs. Go for it. This ain't for you. Sorry. Maybe you should go back and get yourself a torque storm. Gotta get your lights flicker when you play Thunder. Remind me of Taserface, Guardians of the Galaxy. Taserface? What's your name? Taserface? Hey Alex, what's the best supercharger out there? I heard that there's a VMP. I heard that there's Whipple. I heard ESS. There's also this one called Torque Storm. yeah, Torque Storm. Hey Alex, I appreciate you showing the ability to educate the masses. As a show of support for you, would be interested in some GT350 intake manifolds to give away. Let's do one today. John Lucas. Yeah, let's do that. But I don't know if you're fucking with us or what. So who wants a GT350 intake manifold? We got 20 minutes to give it away. And if you got an issue with the manifold, you hit up John Lucas. Coming at you. Let's give away a 350 intake manifold, and I'll choose the winner by the end of the show. Why don't you give away a Torque Storm Super? I'd rather you give away a Torque Storm Super. That's so stupid. Oh my god, I love it. Yeah, the 350 manifold is going to be badass stuff. Play it every time you say Odin. What should I make for an Odin sound? Maybe a rock song that says Thunder. Yeah, AC/DC Thunder. Thunderstruck. Oh no. Let me get to it. Oh, come on. I don't want to get copyrighted. So wait, where is it? Come on, everybody. Thunderstorm. Yeah. Torque Storm coming at you. A little Torque Storm. That's the one. I'm going to keep them up so I can put them on later. Oh, let me smoke test it. All Toyota smell like rotten eggs. I'll take it. Play it every time you say Odin. Built instead of Thunder. Torque Storm. Let me smoke test it. That's dope. I'll definitely take one. Excellent. Odin, you should play a clip from Thor. Sounds like Cleater just blew another engine. No, really? Dude, I'm losing it here with Torque Storm and AC/DC. Fuck, I'm dead. I'm sweating. Hey, Torque Storm's AR, I don't know what the fuck he's trying to say, man. I don't know what the fuck he's trying to say. Someone says, I'll definitely take one, Lando. Okay, so let's be honest here, guys. Let's be honest. A lot of you don't need a GT350 intake. I'd rather give it away to someone that actually needs a GT350 intake. Okay? Because if you're going to just get it to resell it, that's your right. But if someone actually has a bone stock intake manifold, like a Gen 2 or a Gen 1, and they want an upgrade, but remember, you have to buy a throttle body adapter to run your stock throttle body. Fuck running the 350 throttle. You know what I mean? So let's make sure that the people that are actually needing one, you know, get heard, because you're just gonna get it's gonna sit in your fucking shit. So you know what I mean. The Freedom Factory is the graveyard for engines. I hope he didn't blow it up. I heard he didn't blow it up, right? Didn't he win the drag week thing or whatever? And then he's gonna go to like a Rocky Mountain. I'm like, oh my god, this guy loves to blow shit up. Am I the only one? Let's have a fireside chat here. Right? Did anyone else watch Cletus's coverage of the Midwest drag whatever and think he's driving around the street with a 2,000 horsepower capable 500 cubic inch car, and you don't think the EPA is watching that? Like, I was kind of like blown away, because we live in the EPA enforcement era, and I'm telling you, that to me was red flag central. And I went, holy shit. Like, here it is. Exhaust. The exhaust starts and ends there. And I went, don't you think the EPA goes, oh, thank you for documenting. Thank you for documenting you breaking the law the whole time. Because that car's an 80 Elko, right? It's like an 80 El Camino or something like that. And then, oh, you're ratting him out. I'm not ratting him out. He's ratting him out. You understand, if you're going out there and thumbing your nose at the EPA going, I'm driving a 2,000 horsepower. I'm driving a 2,000 horsepower. No emissions anywhere, anything. Race car, 1,000 miles on the street. All the EPA has to do to Congress is go, exhibit number 1. And you know how politicians are. They're like, oh my God, he's not capturing it. Do you know the trees he's killing? Oh, and I don't want him to get popped. But he basically made a video for one whole week saying Freedom Factory, race car, 6 seconds, 2,000 horsepower, methanol, street legal, street. And we are fighting for the ability to convert VIN cars into race cars only, not legal for the street. I thought to myself, boy, this industry doesn't get it at all. Right? Like, the industry does not understand what the EPA is doing at all. And the whole time I watched clips and I went, he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. It's all about clicks and likes and look at the videos. So I've given up trying to defend it. Like, I've given up trying to defend it because I'm a little channel. I'm a tiny little channel. And if I drive my race car on the street, am I showing you the full run of exhaust from engine to back and having no emissions components in between? No. How many times have you seen the exhaust setup on the GT500? How many times have you seen the exhaust setup lately on the white car? How many times have you seen the exhaust setup on the red car, the truck? So, would I be surprised if the EPA pops the Freedom Factory? No. Do I want them to pop the Freedom Factory? Fuck no. I want him to be left alone and do whatever he does. Does Alex think the Elko while driving 1,000 miles and running 6 is cool? Absolutely. I also think the EPA could use that whole week's videos against him and pop him for millions of dollars. Sorry. Everyone involved would get fucking popped. Everyone involved would get popped. If your VIN number suggests it's a vehicle that was made after the Clean Air Act was enacted, and you self-advertise about drag and drive events and show the complete run of the exhaust and think, the EPA is not going to hit me up. It's a race car that you're driving on the street. They don't get it. Look at Don. I think Don's kidding. I hope Don's kidding. Instagram equals self-snitches. Luckily, it got a Holly, so it gives the planet a few more minutes before it actually starts. That's funny. Let's just say 10% of his 1 million viewer audience does what he does. This is XXXX amount of carbon, blah, blah, blah. Right. Unlimited class equals free pass. Yeah, bullshit. I think I heard him call Mullet a street legal 6-second car. Right. Oh. And you know what's funny? They would listen to me on the last 5 minutes that I just went on that rant, and they'll say, what the fuck's he talking about? Why is he hating on my car? The EPA is shutting down shops that sell, modify, remove, do anything to vehicles that bypass the emissions components, put them in jail, sell parts, blah, 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 blah. And you have, I'm not even going to mention, I'm going to stop because they documented the whole process. And I went, I hope you don't get hit. I really, really hope you don't get hit. Really hope you don't get hit. There was a governor in Formula D yesterday bringing awareness to the RPM Act. Cool. I mean, it's fucking Formula D. Of course, drifting is called Formula D. Someone as big as Cletus is without a doubt on their radar. All they're doing is going, oh, wait. Hey, EPA agents. Yeah, EPA. Yeah, what? Don't even go out and check him out. Why not? He's documenting it for us. Oh, how? He's putting it all on YouTube. And all we have to do is rip it from YouTube, put it up in the file. The file's about this thick. And then what happens in one day in your email? You get a subpoena to show up to explain, or a request for information. Oh, here you go. What's this? Well, you're in violation of the Clean Air Act. Well, how so? Well, your El Camino's at 80 something. Okay. But it's a race car. Right. With plates that you drove 1,000 miles at this event and links to the YouTube channel. Here you show no exhaust, no emissions capturing device between the exhaust, Here you show this. Here you show that. Here you drive 1,000 miles. Ooh. Cletus is going to open the door to the EPA. Oh, frick. I don't want to hear shock in anyone's voice if he gets popped. I don't want to hear shock. I don't want to hear anyone go, oh, what the fuck? He's just trying to have fun. When you have been being warned since 2015 or earlier that they're popping everybody. Cleater building his own case against himself. I mean, his buddies Brent and JH both got popped. And he doesn't take that as a... Bro. Sorry to spam, but I'm curious. So if ESS or Vortec made a kit, who would you keep? Who made a kit? Would you keep the truck? The truck. Yeah. Yeah, if ESS or Vortec made a kit for the truck, I'd keep the truck. Yeah, for sure. And I put 10 PSI to it, pump gas, and see what we can do. For sure. Absolutely. It's Sunday. No one said anything dumb and got kicked. Disappointing. They even documented fabricating the... I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to say that, Paul. I didn't want to say that. EPA is crazy. Just thought they sold cookies. Okay. Okay, damn it, Bobby. Do you need a 350 intake manifold? Because that wins. Damn it, Bobby. If you can use, and be honest with the chat. There's someone out there that probably needs it. But damn it, Bobby. Can you use a 350 intake manifold? I'm sure the EPA has all of the evidence they need on each YouTuber or IG star. When the person denies of their claims, the EPA will just pull the video clips or post with the hashtag #NoCats. Alex predicting the future again. I hate drifting, but it has a large audience. It does. The fans' brains may be smooth. They are. Like the tires after each event, so they may not care. You're right. The bad part is that most people don't do that besides the people that have the most attention, YouTubers. Yeah. EPA does that? I thought they just made cookies. How do you feel about aftermarket throttle bodies? On a stock Coyote, keep the throttle body stock. On a Vortec Coyote, keep the throttle body stock. On an ESS Coyote, keep the throttle body stock. On a CJ Coyote, you can change the throttle body. He's probably already paying fines. So the fact that he's so big and two guys close to him it's running just fine. Okay. Salim, I hope so. I don't want him to get popped. I want him to live a long life and have fun and skiddly derping and friggity dirk. Whatever the fuck. I can't use it. Give it to someone else who needs it. Nice. Thank you for being honest. That's good. That's good shit right there. If he can't use the intake, I'll send him cookies or coffee if he wants. Well, that EPA and Damn It Bobby get together. There you go. So, Damn It Bobby, I made you the winner. But EPA says, hey, since you're so honest and you don't need the intake, I'll send you cookies. So, damn it, Bobby, get with EPA and Melissa, and they'll send you cookies or coffee. The EPA just needs their old thought of mind. Can you use, hey, N Choppa, can you use a 350 intake manifold? He is a follower of this chat. So N Choppa, can you use a 350 intake manifold? I'm sure most will disagree, but what Cletus is doing and what I've said we all need to do in mass. Just don't comply, force their hand, and let them destroy themselves in the public arena. I agree. But we all should just defy. Okay, so let's say we're all defying. We're all saying, fuck you, don't comply, suck my dick. Okay, let's say we're all doing that. Awesome, badass, we're all in it together, sick. I get popped. Y'all got my back? Oh, wait, what's that? I hear crickets. Yep. Yeah, that's crickets for the guy that gets popped and needs help. Wow, this was a very wholesome YouTube moment. Good night, everyone. Where's N Chapa? Does he need the intake manifold? Where's he at? Samuel says, give it to me, bitch, so I can put it on my truck. Texas Size Gap says, just tried Oh My God cookies a couple days ago. Highly vouch for Tony cookie. Bomb. So yeah, you guys got my back. He goes, I can't use it. Again, another wholesome dude. Knowing that he wanted intake manifold and says, I don't want to use it. We're good. So we'll keep on trucking. We got 5 minutes. But do not comment something funny unless you can use it. Oh, that's good stuff right there. Yeah, like we all got your back until the gas runs out. Like that's what's going to happen, I think. I think what's going to happen is we're all going to defy. Fuck you. We're driving. And you know what? They'll just pop everybody. Now, the EPA has stated that they would not go after the individual. They would not go after the individual. They would only go after companies. So if individuals started to not comply, I wonder how all that would go. The EPA could be petty and fine Cletus for selling grass that violates the Clean Air Act. Oh, shit. EPA exhibit number 1. Cleater jumps out the Grand Canyon with a car that has emissions equipment removed. There'll be some good people in the chat. There's some good people in this chat, I swear. Guys, like legit. People that want something and said, nah, I don't need it. Your followers would turn into a bunch of Teslas if you got popped. Quiet as fuck. I love you guys, and I think you guys are awesome people. But you guys would not have my back. Or the industry. Let's just say you guys would. You guys have my back now. Some of you, a lot of you guys are paid members. The industry would not have my back. Pretty awesome of you to give that away. You guys are good people. I can use it. I will list on eBay and buy a whole tank of gas with the money. After low, I use the manifold to store my E85. Facebook has been peddling cats for years. Have to love those posts that say no one go get gas on said day. Hold out. People are dumb. EPA knows the YouTubers are raking in the dough and will pay their fines. Because, okay, that's a great point, EPA. How detrimental to their business would it be if somebody got popped? Let's say you're a YouTube channel and you get popped and you now have a lot of employees, a lot of people that count on you to support their lifestyle, the paycheck. So you get popped. EPA knows you're going to pay the fine because you have a lot of income. You have 40, 50 employees, people counting on you. So yeah, we'll pop you because you have to pay. E85 isn't available. I think what's going to happen is PFI Speed was a very small shop. Very small shop. They got popped for selling ECUs. Not necessarily the tuning aspect. They sold something that they didn't make on their website, and that's how the EPA popped them. The EPA didn't say, you're building cars that are street legal and race cars at the same time. No, they popped them for the parts. Now, Cletus doesn't make parts, so maybe he's safe there. Who knows? I have a 45-minute drive to get 85 and have 8 VP jugs in my garage. Cletus running stock cats into the weeds. Bumble swipes. If Alex gets popped, I'd be the first one to support his OnlyFans. Yeah, I got good feet. Once you get a girlfriend, you do stuff you normally wouldn't do. But my feet, I can make funny on my feet. Is it a fine or bribe? Seems more like extortion. Which manifold would you recommend for a daily driver casual roll races? 18 manifold or 350 manifold? E85 is $3.99 a gallon at the Charlton rest stop at the Mass Pike. $4.25 here. Disco Ball is popping this morning. Disco Ball is getting the work in. So no one else wanted the 350 manifold, so we can hold that off for tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow we can do a 350 intake manifold giveaway. But again, you have to need it. And I appreciate the two people that I gave it to, and both of them said, nah, I'm good. I don't need it. And it's probably better not to force it down anyone's throat, and we should be good to go there. Will 350 intake work with a Holley double pumper? That's funny. Alex, don't forget to disclose how high your dash goes up on your GT500. Important to know the caliper of car you're looking at purchasing. Southern Motoring says, but it can't work the other way. Lots of YouTubers that got popped gained tons of followers and had the GoFundMe pages and started Southern Motoring Motorsports Solutions. Southern Motoring, that is a wonderful point. If you get popped by the EPA, it would probably work for you. GoFundMe's, where did that go? Did it go to lawyers' fees? Where did it go? And by the way, Bondo Bird, I see you breaking your fucking car all the time. We gave you $5,500. This chat gave you $5,500. So if your ass don't make it a mod nats in proper form and you're spending that money on other shit, I'm watching you very closely. You better talk to Daddy Whipple and have him give you like a raise or something, because you best not be fucking around with that money. Can I get a birthday shout out? Tyler Brown. Happy birthday, Tyler Brown. Which one's Tyler Brown? I don't know. Getting pop of the EPA equals more clout. We have a 350 manifold for sale. 400 ship. I was a few seconds behind, but Alex asked to hit it from the back if the EPA pops him. Did you ever get rid of your RTS wheels that were rim screwed? No. Jeff Johnson, I still have the rears. The fronts are gone. They're Jake's. I gave them to Jake, because Jake's wife has S71s in the rear, but no front, so I gave them to him. But I have the rears. That YouTuber will make a video titled, I got popped by the EPA, and the EPA knows the video will sell. Bondo Bird, we remember. Don't be fucking around. Daddy Chill, can you see him from China? What do you think about the 6.8 liter Mustang? Should a 350 manifold cookie? Madman will take 80 weeks for Bondo to get a raise. Oh my God. Don't make us come over there. Uncle Alex remembers and late to the party, but I'm here. Lex Luthor, we're out of here. All right, Kates. We're going to give a 350 manifold away, but we have not. I'm good with a giveaway tomorrow. May not catch the show, but I will send you an email so you can let me know where to send it. So tomorrow, tune in for the opportunity to win a GT350 intake manifold. Free. But please need it. Okay? I don't want someone to get it. It's gonna look weird if you resell it. I want you to need it and want it as an upgrade. It's a good upgrade for a Gen 1, Gen 2. IMRCs can be functional on the Gen 2. Gen 1, obviously you just remove them because there is no IMRC in Gen 1. All right, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Great chat today. Wholesome people, nice people, good shit. I wish it was like this all the time. Art was one of the smartest guys on the chat, chose the power adder properly, and actually gave me specifics, and that's nice to see. I think you guys are getting smarter. That means the peasant chat might be moved to a paid chat. That's right. I might just turn on the money because y'all know some shit. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys 5 p.m. tomorrow. Have a good rest of your Sunday, and have a good one. See you later. Bye.